So this is the SIG Tango MSR 1:8 that I put on this rifle in the other video. And I am shooting the crap out of it, trying to see how I like it. So obviously one of the things I've been doing a lot of is throwing this lever as much as I can to see how convenient it is. It is pretty nice. I like it. It's smooth. One thing I did notice, I was testing out whether I needed to put Loctite on this throw lever right here that then screws off. It does get loose as I was doing that over and over again. So I will be putting Loctite on that. That's pretty much going to be a must. Not for sure if I want to keep these flip-up sights on there right now. I kind of like keeping them on because they are pretty nice and convenient. But I don't normally run a rifle with any of these on there to begin with. I was switching back and forth between using illumination and no illumination. The nice thing about illumination is as I was getting my head behind the rifle and say my eye relief was off a little bit, which the 1:8 in 1x just fine. You don't really have an eye relief problem. When you max it out to about 8x, it does start giving you problems with eye relief. But the better part of that is if you're used to shooting with both eyes open and you have an illuminated reticle, you can kind of superimpose that dot over the target whether you have visual through the scope or not. Kind of the same way as taping off the front of your red dot on your pistol and shooting with that. If you keep both eyes open, you'll basically superimpose that dot over the target. Now, I'm not saying that you should be doing that. That's not a good way to do this. But I did notice that if I was kind of, my eye relief was a little bit off, and I would be taking shots like with it superimposed. Eye relief's not awful. It's not the best. So obviously that's something you'll have to get behind and learn a little bit more of it as you shoot it. The illumination's fantastic. I was able, out here in all this white, it was really easy to see everything I needed to see on that. So far I'm liking that. It's pretty nice. The 1x magnification's fantastic to me. I mean, it's clear. I don't have any problems at all with that. And the clarity on the zoom, the glass is obvious. Well, it's a budget optic to begin with, so your clarity of your glass is not going to be perfect. But I don't really have a problem. I can zoom in. I can tell you which target, and I don't know what my range is from the back where I was shooting in the trees. I know when I shoot pistol, this range has roughly around 20 to 30 yards, depending upon where you're standing. So maybe adding another 20 to 30 yards on it, so I was probably doing 50, 60 yard shots possibly is about what I was at when I was doing all that shooting back over there. So this is pretty nice, working pretty well for me, and I like shooting from that distance over there with targets, being able to go between trees and tree to tree. So the clarity is, you get what you pay for. It's not going to be the greatest. I don't really have a problem with it. I was able to tell you which shot on the steel I was taking at that distance with the zoom on, because I could see which mark was left last. But like I've always said in the past, there's a lot of people that don't like LPVOs, and they opt for a red dot, and I'm not a battery guy, so I like to train as much as I can with the thing that I'm going to trust the most to last the longest. So other than that, this was pretty nice shooting. I like trying to get this optic broke in a little bit, and I plan on shooting them more. I'll probably move on to the 10x. So because the 1:6 is pretty much going to be your better optic of all three of them, because it's not going to have as many problems with eye relief at the max magnification and all that. So my next one I'm going to start shooting is probably the 1:10, because I'm going to assume the 1x is going to be, okay, and then the 10's probably going to get pretty bad with eye relief. But I'll see how well I superimpose that dot over that as well whenever I shoot through that. But like I said, not that you should be doing it that way, but that is how you can mitigate some of that eye relief every once in a while. Really, if you're running around like that as much as you are, you're probably not going to be in max magnification anyways, because that's really hard to kind of try and find your targets to begin with. So you're probably going to be on 1x anyways, then you'll probably throw over to your max or your higher magnifications. So like I said, I'm going to assume the 10x is going to be probably pretty bad at eye relief. So my gut right now tells me that sticking with a 1 to 6 or 1 to 8 is probably going to be a better option. But I digress. I bought all 3 of them to be able to try them out and find out for myself, rather than taking other people's advice and see where they are. So I'll let you know what I see as I go, and hope you enjoyed this quick little shoot with the new Optic and my 14.5. So other than that, y'all have a good day.